Did you know that you can create your own wavetables in Vital without using the Wavetable Editor, and that you can use those wavetables in other synthesizers as well, like Pigments for example? I will show you how to do that right now, but first, welcome to the Ground Noise and another Wavetable tutorial. If you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, check out this playlist. But on the other hand, you can just stay here because, to be honest, creating a wavetable in Vital really isn't that complicated. You'll see. First question, what is a wavetable? Well, it is technically a 4 seconds long audio sample. And in order to create such a sample, I set the project tempo to 120 BPM and create a 2 bars long part. Because, following the rules of the universe, such a part will be exactly 4 seconds long. But you don't need to do it like that. There's another way I will show you in a minute. But when I make sounds, I love to have such a dummy part that plays something for me while I'm tweaking the sound. For the wavetable, I only need one note, a C0, because deep notes generally create better wavetables. Never mind, you can test all of this out by yourself. I only show you the basic procedure and share some of my experiences. In fact, Vital gives us quite a few options to create a wavetable, but we will focus on the most exciting method and make a wavetable by using oscillators, LFOs and filters. And after that, we will load our wavetable into another great synth, Arturia Pigments. I start with a saw wave in oscillator 1 and manipulate it with, let's say, harmonic stretch. Now let's animate that movement with an LFO. The LFO loop should be 4 seconds long, so I set its length to 2 bars, but you can also change this setting to time and enter the value, in this case 4 seconds. Okay, let's make a ramp and connect it with the harmonic stretch knob. Okay, let's do the same with the second oscillator, but let's try something else, maybe snare. I fire it with another LFO, but this time with a reversed ramp. But again, the world is yours. You can try literally everything as long as it fits into 4 seconds. Another cool thing to manipulate a waveform is FM, frequency modulation. I set the other knob of oscillator 1 to FM coming from oscillator 3 and use a sine wave in oscillator 3. Interesting. Let's see if I can move it around with LFO1. I like it so far, but maybe it's a bit too harsh sounding. So I apply a filter to tame it a little bit. Of course, you can animate the filter with an LFO as well, but I think I'm good for now. When you're done with these steps, it's a good idea to save the patch so that you can use it like a template, which makes it much easier to create variations later on. And because you're clicking buttons anyway, you can also smash that like button right now, which really helps with the algorithm. So I saved the current state of my wavetable preset, and now I will turn everything into a wavetable that we can export and load into other synthesizers as well. Just have a right click on the waveform window. As you can see, there are a few options, but this one, Resynthesize Preset to Wavetable, sounds promising, right? Click it. Perfect, our preset has turned into a wavetable. Now open the Wavetable Editor. Here you can add more things like modifiers and sources if necessary. I will get back to the editor in a minute, but first let's export the wavetable. For that we need export to WAV file to get a file format that other programs can understand. You can save the wavetable file wherever you want on your hard drive. After that's done, I always run a little test, starting with a new preset and loading the wavetable. You can show Vital the location of your wavetable here. Now I connect it with an LFO and play a few chords or whatever. Also add more voices and change the envelope, just to get to know the character of the wavetable. And you know, sometimes it happens that parts of the wavetable sound a bit disappointing. In the editor you can change the start and end points of the sample. Select the first keyframe and move the start point in the sample window. It's hard to see, but trust me. And you can do the same with the last keyframe. And when you're done, just overwrite the wavetable file with a new version. Before we test this wavetable in Pigments, let me quickly summarize what we did so far. We used oscillators and various ways to manipulate them to create a 4 seconds long sound loop. Different LFOs control the movement, and we can also work with filters to change the character of the patch. The function Resynthesize Preset to Wavetable turns the preset into a wavetable that we can export as a WAV file. Optionally, we can make more changes in the Wavetable Editor. And now we're gonna find out if the wavetable also works nicely in Pigments. Starting with a fresh preset, I set Engine 1 to Wavetable. And I open the Wavetable menu and add a new folder with this tiny little, almost entirely hidden button. Or with a button next to it, I put a new sample into an existing folder. Load it, and here we go. How cool is that? You are now able to create your own wavetables in Vital and also play them in Pigments. And there are even more ways how you can create wavetables. But that's maybe something to discuss in another video, so make sure to subscribe to not miss any of this quality content. And in the meantime also check out these videos and also